Guess what time it is? It's the summer solstice. It's the time of the year when the day and night are equal, and we're going to start going into the shorter days. Yay, cooler for us here in Florida. But for Florida and our Yarden, it's not your typical time of year, and we'll tell you why when we get out there. So let's go see what's growing. Here we are in the lavender rosemary patch. This is my big giant grandmother rosemary, which has some of the lavender dentata growing, and it has some beautiful flowers, if you could see this one. And it's kind of peeking up through the rosemary. And the rosemary's flowering too, which is beautiful. Beautiful little flowers. I haven't always had it flower, but this year I've been throwing in some bloomer fertilizer. Works well. Over here we have the basil also flowering, getting ready to, I'm going to cut a lot of this down and make some pesto, but I'm going to collect these for seeds. And of course we always have the rose geranium, my favorite, always growing. And some of the tagetes over here. Everything's quit blooming, but I'll show you what we got. Come on this way. So here we are in one of my side gardens. It's kind of empty because this is where I'm getting ready to do my fall sugar snap peas, but I wanted to show you my vetiver experiment. I have planted these vetiver shoots into this pipe so that I should be able to get them out of there and get a lot more of the roots easier. My friend Renee that gave me this vetiver also has a pipe, and she showed me this method with a much nicer pipe, of course, but this is all I had, so we'll see what happens. So here's my calendula. Every day I come out here and pick these. I've been picking them all summer. I'll show you what I've collected. I'm infusing them into some coconut oil, but we're going to take the heads and pop the top off and let it dry for a day or two and then put it into the oil. So this plant I've been picking on for 2 months. And I'm gonna come back and get the rest of them later today. Okay, here we are in my kitchen. I'll show you what I do with these calendula. Once I pick off the heads, I leave them here on this tray to dry for a few days. And then after they've dried, I pick them up and throw them in the pot. And this is the coconut oil. And this has probably been cooking for a good month. And you could see how beautiful the oil is. Turning a rich golden. It smells wonderful. But I'm gonna let this sit a few more months. Another couple weeks after I finish it. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, here's another project I've started on now that I have some jasmine sambac plants. I can pick those blossoms off, and I've been putting them into coconut oil. And oh my goodness, it's gonna be very luscious. I've never done this before, so this will be a new treat, but I think it's going to smell really good. It's kind of getting solid because in my house it's cool because it's really hot here in Florida. So we got the AC on good, but let's go look at the rest of the garden and I'll show you what else we got going. Alrighty, here we are out front in front of my beautiful orange jasmine tree that this week has just bloomed to the max. And you can see all these little things all over the ground. These are the little petals. And there's still so many blossoms here that it's filling up the neighborhood. People are coming and asking me, what is that? And unfortunately it doesn't last long, but it's an incredible smell. Whee! So here we are in my little garden of wildflower butterfly plants. If you remember last year, my friend Billy passed away, and he had all these plants in his Yarden, and I went over and helped rescue a lot of them. And so I'm just starting to find out what they are, and I'll share how I'm doing that with you in a minute. But I wanted to show you one I know the name of already, and it's this, and it's called the Chaya, C-H-A-Y-A, I believe. Has a beautiful white flower on it that is a little bit fragrant, but you can eat these leaves. They have to be cooked because, like a lot of the green leafy things, you have to cook and throw away the water, and then you could eat the leafy part. But it's one that I learned the name of through Mark Williams and a special book I'll tell you about in a minute. I'm outstanding in my field here. It's a lavender veil, all right. And it's time for harvest. I got to get out here with my bag and my sickle and cut this lavender back so I can get some more flowers in the fall. But if anybody wants to come and help, come on down, because it's too hot for me. Here we are in the front in my rock pile that just fell over, and I had to put it back together. But you know what? In life, sometimes it happens. You know, your rock pile falls over, and you just got to pick up the pieces and start over. So I did. But also, you know what? I meant to tell you earlier, because here we are at Summer Solstice, but in Florida, it is so darn hot and wet, everything dies back. So we're kind of at a resting time in the middle of summer right here, even though it's the longest day. We're kind of having a little rest, and that's okay too, because pretty soon in August we'll get ready for our fall garden, because here in Florida we get spring and fall to grow, where a lot of people are just growing right now, and that's how it goes. But we're different down here, and so we're just going to have a little rest, even put our rocks back together, and we'll get back. And I'm glad we're back onto these Yarden walks. I know you guys missed them, but sometimes we just have to pick up our rock piles. And we can't always stay with it, but yeah, here's to the summer. All right, here we are. I'm on the back porch. This is the place where I cool my jets, hang out, listen to the pool fountain, the birds, do my reading when it's not too hot. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you. And you know, even though I've been in this a long time, I love learning new things. And this past spring, we were speakers at the Florida Herbal Conference, and a wonderful place to learn about all kinds of plants and other aspects. And I had the pleasure of having plant walks with several people, including Green Dean. If you've ever seen his site, Eat the Weeds, I've discovered I could eat half of my lawn I didn't know about. But also went on a walk with Mark Williams, who teaches classes, and it helped identify the local things that were right there in Florida. And from that, I really got turned on to the group and the little study that he does, and it's called Botany in a Day. You can look him up on Facebook. He's doing the lessons. It's by volunteer payment, so anybody could take it. But the point of it is he's going through this book, which teaches you the patterns of plant identification, so you don't have to know what everything is. If you can learn what the family is, you're a lot closer, and then you can narrow it down. So because of this, I've been able to identify a lot of the plants that I got from my friend Bill, because they weren't medicinal aromatic. All new stuff for me in my Yarden, which has always been medicinal, aromatic, native, and food. So now I have all these butterfly and other medicinal herbs that I didn't ever use much, all because of that conference and meeting Mark, and now starting to learn a lot of new stuff. So I highly recommend this. We'll put the link in our whatever. You'll find the link. But if you want to learn more about plants, this is a great way to do it. And you know, it's just fun to sit out here on my porch and read a little bit. I got my little magnifying glasses, so I go get me a leaf and I'll look at it up close, because I love to explore that part. So got my seed magazine here, see what I want to get for next year. So I hope you guys can do that too. And if you do, let me know. Let me know what you like, if you're studying this course as well or another similar one. It's just something I really enjoy doing. One day I'm going to get up there to North Carolina and meet Mark, and they're doing a lot of good work in this area of preserving the herbs and the seeds, heirloom seeds, so we could all grow heirloom tomatoes.
All right. Well, that concludes our Summer Solstice 2019 Yarden Walk. We hope you all enjoyed. What you got? What you holding on there?
I got this little avocado branch for people that may have remembered when we first started doing these Yarden walks. We stood out here at the closing, and I showed a little tiny branch that was just coming out of the tree. And now we can't even tell which one it is, because there's about 4 or 5 of them.
It's true.
This is how things grow. But it's also that time of year again, and our tree is covered in avocados. And that is the one thing that we grow well here in Florida in the summer. Otherwise,
avocados.
Not much else. So enjoy your avocados, and don't get it in your eye. Oh!
Well, if you liked our Yarden walk, make sure you subscribe to our email list. Check us out on Facebook. And we're going to keep doing these, even though we took a break for a long time. We know y'all liked it. And
hey, rock piles fall over, you know. So.
rock piles fall over. You heard it here. Keep having fun, y'all.
Love you guys.
Love you.
I'm getting my breath now.